So I was feeling a little nostalgic and started watching some of the old Woody's Gamertag videos where he was just sort of doing the gameplay commentaries that everybody was trying to do at the time. I really wish I could have gotten in on the ground floor with Call of Duty YouTube during these days, because this was a much simpler time and people had a lot more appreciation for the flow of Call of Duty and the style of the game that it was, and it had its novelty still. So little things were still novel. It's fun listening to Woody, the unexceptional gamer, say stuff like, oh, I should have knifed this guy and it would have kept me off the radar, and it was like a big deal in the gameplay commentary, and the comments are like, oh, if you would have knifed that guy, you would have been off the radar, and just stuff we take for granted now. Definitely the Call of Duty community has changed drastically. The gaming culture over the last 10 years has changed drastically, but back in the day, the little things were important. And what I really liked about Woody's gameplay is that he never gave a crap throughout the entire commentary about camping. In fact, in this video, I don't think he ever uses the term camping, or if he does, he uses it very passingly. But really, in his mind, it's about locking down the map and locking down the B flag. Now you might say Woody's a scrub, but that was always sort of his thing back in the day. He was the unexceptional gamer. He was a bit of a boomer, you know? But he never said he was the best or anything like that. His whole marketing was that he was unexceptional, and so, yeah, it was about winning the game at all costs and the tactics and decisions you can employ to do better, and I think that's really special and something that we've definitely lost these days. Now everybody kind of knows the tactics, the tricks. Call of Duty's novelty's gone, and it's never gonna come back unless we get another huge meta shift like we got with like Advanced Warfare back in the day. But overall, the COD novelty is never coming back, but I wanted to then rotate the point of this commentary to talk about a message, a person in chat from many streams ago, many months ago. I was playing Modern Warfare, and I wasn't playing very well. I think I joined a game late and I was getting a little salty, as one does. But one person in my chat kind of irritated me. They told me that I was playing for dopamine and that I was getting punished for it. And I thought, that's fucking ridiculous. This is a really unfair match for me right now, and I'm not trying to get dopamine. I'm trying to do anything at the moment. I'm trying to like stay alive, and I don't know what stream that was. I don't know who told me that, but they were absolutely correct. I look back on a lot of my more recent footage and some videos from several months ago with my, my gameplay in the background, and I realized that I'm just not as capable long term. I'm a very inconsistent player. Then I realized that playing for dopamine is a real thing. Playing for the rush of success, playing for that montage moment, it's why I come off really good at Call of Duty sometimes and not others. I basically bang my head against the wall until I eventually break through it. And then I get the quad kills, and I get those really awesome sniper clips on stream, and everyone's like, whoa, Boom can actually play video games. And then I go back to having a death streak the next game. I'm not willing to play smart, and there's this sort of good Call of Duty gameplay in the back of my mind that I need to emulate at all times. I'm always playing for footage. I'm always playing for montage moments. I'm always playing to impress. I'm always playing to dominate the opponents and to terrorize them. I don't even think about the fact that a lot of the times that I try to terrorize my opponents, I haven't earned their fear. So how do you earn your opponent's fear, and why does any of this matter? Well, watching Woody's gamertag videos from 10 years ago when Call of Duty was still new and novel, we didn't have the same standards and ideals that we do now. And I think our current standards and ideals for gameplay are primarily unrealistic. For those of you that don't know, and this is a little bit adult, but I'll try to keep it PG-13, people that watch a lot of pornography end up getting really bad body image. They start seeing themselves or even their significant others as uglier than they really are, because they're spending so much time watching hentai or porn stars or whatever with these very obviously beautiful people having sex and whatever. So, they get very down on themselves for the way they look, and they don't appreciate the attractive features about themselves. I think a very similar thing happens when we watch a lot of really good gameplay moments and a lot of really good gameplay compilations, or even, esports pro matches. We get this idea that this is how Call of Duty is meant to be played. This is the ideal peak performance. This is the six-pack of FPS games, and it's much easier to obtain than a real six-pack. So instead of making it about ourselves, about the moment that we're in, about the match that we're in, about the game that we are playing in our rooms, in our living rooms, in our free time, we have an image that we're trying to emulate instead of playing the match we're in. When you're playing online games, you're dealing with real people, and yes, they might be going down the same hallways, the same lanes, they might be in the same windows, using the same weapons, but they are people that make different decisions and have varying levels of skill and confidence. I mean, hell, on a technical level, they have varying qualities of connection, and sometimes you just can't beat a bad player because they're lagging all over the place. There is a human element to online games that's affected by both technology and, well, you know, the person you're playing against. That's kind of a big one. You really can't try to emulate better gameplay than you're capable of all of the time, because what you're fighting at the end of the day, you're fighting people. So what's the first thing we have to do? Camping doesn't exist. That's the first thing you have to do. You have to pound that thought into your mind. Camping does not exist. If you wait in a corner for somebody to come through a doorway, whether you're guarding a flag or playing team deathmatch, if that's how you kill that person, that's how you kill them. Nobody's judging you, and if your opponent's judging you, maybe they could get good. Your opponents will always require you to do better in order to win. Your opponents don't care if you like their strategy. And their strategy might be that idealistic meta gun abuse, you know, going around with Damascus camo or diamond camo or dark matter or whatever, slide canceling and jumping around corners and, you know, playing like a pub stomper or playing like an esports star. And that could be really sexy, but maybe you don't like that playstyle. Maybe you don't like the way that feels to go up against, and maybe you're just not that good. It's time to adapt your playstyle. You could try to emulate that exact gameplay style, or you could work in the match that you're in to defeat the opponent you're against. Back when I was doing more tips and tricks videos during Black Ops 3, people would say, how do I go up against a tryhard? And my solution was, they can't dodge a trip mine. That was my solution. It was use pieces of equipment and things that make it hard for them to win gunfights or navigate the map. Make them nervous to navigate the map. When somebody's gun skill is better than yours, you're not going to probably win head-on-head 50-50 gunfights, and you could lose honorably, and maybe that's how you get off at night. That's awesome. But I personally think that the person that's beating me into the ground deserves a little bit of their own medicine. I might not win the game, but I'm definitely gonna piss them off. If you've ever been in game chat and you've heard the top player on the enemy team that won, they won the game, they did really well, but they're cursing you out and they're pissed off, you did your job. Unless you're trolling and exploiting things, in which case I don't think you did your job, I think you're probably a cock. But I'm sorry, claymores are part of the game. Being able to wait for somebody is part of the game. So take the standards that you have and remove them. Don't play for dopamine, don't play for that montage moment. Play against your opponent. Know when to push and when to stop. Know when to hold cover, get some kills, and then move to a new location, hold a piece of cover, and get some kills. Be unpredictable. Then, one of the things you have to understand here, because I don't want everyone to just be camping little pussies that never get better at the game. I don't want myself to be that. What you need to do is after you start the game out that way, after you play smart, after you keep cover, you have exit strategies in your engagements, and you play a little bit reserved, a little bit smarter than your opponents. You always have an exit, you always have cover. Once you've played like that for a bit, and your team is able to gain map control, call in streaks, your team is just getting way more kills than they are. You're able to look at the minimap and go, wow, we own the map, look at the kill feed and go, wow, we are slaying them out. That's when you go for your montage moment. That's when you go into their spawn and get a 6-man feed. My problem is that I always push outside of my effective range. I always go for the other person that I don't need to try to kill, and I'm scared to back off. I'm scared to play calm. I'm scared to collect myself for 10 seconds. I'm scared to camp a little bit because I don't think it's gonna look good in footage or on live stream. But what really matters is dealing with your opponents. And this isn't even mentioning potential skill-based matchmaking things. If you're fighting people of roughly your skill level all the time, do you really have what it takes to 50-50 them every time? I could go on about this stuff for hours, but really the takeaway is don't play for dopamine. Don't try to get that rush of adrenaline. Don't try to get that clip moment. Don't go for that every time. Your gameplay is going to become wildly inconsistent and your matches are going to feel the same. Do what's best in each situation, and I think you're going to love your gameplay a lot more, and I think you're going to be a little less hard on yourself as you're playing. If you play to your strengths while also attempting to do better and to push your boundaries, and you can balance that, that's a really good idea. But Call of Duty is a pretty easy game when it comes to gunplay. Don't beat yourself up if you can't win every gunfight. Don't beat yourself up if you weren't able to go into an enemy spawn and kill 40 people. Like, that's not realistic, and the footage you see of that on YouTube, there are lots of lost matches and lost gunfights that just don't make it into those compilations and montages and gameplay commentaries. I think if you play smarter, you'll do better overall, your KD will be higher, but most importantly, you'll be more adaptable. When you're able to play smarter and to gauge how fast and how slow you should be playing at all times, and you're utilizing more than just the simple grenade, stem, grenade, flashbang combo, you're using more pieces of equipment and you're utilizing more things around the map, you'll just be more adaptable. You'll be able to deal with a wider range of opponents and skill levels versus just attempting to emulate something you've seen on YouTube or whatever. I really think this is the better way to play the game. Make yourself adaptable so that you can go up against a wider range of opponents and skill levels and tactics. That is going to help you in the long run way better than occasionally getting quad feeds and occasionally having really good games. Don't be the 5 that expects yourself to be a 10. Be the 5 that works really hard at being a 6. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you disagree with me, that's fine, but really, I'm saying don't worry about what other people think and play whatever way is best for the match that you're in and learn to assess that fact. So if you disagree with that, I have no idea what to say. See you when I see you guys. Goodbye.